My weight issue started in my junior year of college. I studied abroad, and it was the first time that I had put on that freshman 15, but a little bit older. I had never had a weight issue before. I was really athletic, I was really active, but it happened, and it was a pretty big shock to me. Since then, I always carried the additional kind of 5-10 pounds, but I started a business about 8 years ago, and that weight kept getting larger and larger and kind of going up. And I think it was more or less, my focus on my business. I'm a workaholic. I live alone. There's no one to come home to cook dinner for. I don't cook. And at the same time, for what I do for work, I give of myself all day long. And I kind of stopped giving to me, and I started neglecting myself. And then, of course, that makes you feel bad about yourself. And then in turn, you kind of make bad decisions and bad choices. I think that for the last few years, I've been focusing on other things. My business, other people, making sure that my business grew. And in that business, I do a lot of caring for people's animals. And the idea of coming home and cooking a gourmet meal for one just was never of interest to me. And I let myself kind of not be the focus of what was important. And so now I realize, having just turned 40 and almost turning 41, that it's probably time to kind of refocus the things that are important to me, and me being that person and being that person. It's peculiar. I don't overeat and I don't binge and purge, but I have an abnormal relationship with food. There are times where I'll wake up in the morning and I won't eat until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which obviously is not great for your metabolism. And then other days I might pick all day and just eat randomly because I live like a bachelor, and if there's not ketchup in my refrigerator, then that's the time for me to shop. But other times it's convenience. My food pattern is convenience. If it's already prepared and I can walk into a store, I'll eat it. If I have to make it, I don't do that. And it's always been peculiar, but it's also been a friend. So when I'm stressed out at work or have an issue with a friend or just, life issues, we turn to food. My heaviest I ever was 250. That's, considering I'm 5'8" and I'm an athletic build, that's daunting for me. It's not where I want to be. And that's why this experience is so important to me, is to conquer that and get back to where I was, which was a healthy, 175, 180, where I was really fit. I want to feel better about myself. I want to be in smaller clothing. I want to be able to run again and not feel winded. I want to feel comfortable about getting dressed up and going out and not feeling like the chubby funny girl in the room. I want to be happier because I think that I deserve that. And I think that I have a lot to offer, but the weight stands in the way. And my weight right now is like a wall. I mean, it's a wall keeping me back from living my dreams in my life. If I said to you, I want to be 175, I would be crushed if I didn't make it, and I made it to 180. So I never want to put a number on it, because I think that's a number is setting yourself up for failure. I was born and raised in Miami. I went to the University of Miami. I left for 10 years to work in the entertainment business. And when I came back, I was a little bit heavier than I had already, had been when I was here. And I had friends of mine from high school wanting to reconnect because of the Facebook craze, and I wouldn't see them. I didn't go to my high school reunion. I've missed weddings. I've missed anniversaries. I've missed births of friends' babies. I've missed funerals because I'm so self-conscious about the way that I look that I don't want these people to see me, because I'm not that 16-year-old girl anymore. It's probably something, psychologically with me, but, I was the athletic, popular, fun girl that was physically fit, and now I'm not. And so I think I'm just a little bit stuck in the past, which I guess happens. Food has been convenient, or the convenience of food for me has been important, because my business is a 24-hour, 7 days a week job. We do pet care for people. And so when people are traveling, or they're out of town, or they're working late, I'm on call. My phone is on 24 hours a day. And before I had a manager to help me do that, it was me. So if I leave my house at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm working until 8 o'clock at night, I now have my own dogs to take care of. and then, you know, do your normal things before you go to bed or go out. And the last thing I want to do is cook up a meal. So for me to be able to walk into a Whole Foods or a Fresh Market or a Publix and pick up a sandwich or whatever it is, it's so much easier. But, you know, just because it's convenient doesn't necessarily mean it's the healthiest choice. And I'm definitely guilty of, you know, not always choosing wisely. You know, what's funny is that if you were ever to look in my cabinets or my refrigerator, you're not going to see the junk food. I don't keep it in my house. I never have. We were never allowed to have soda as a child. We were never allowed to have sugar cereal as a child or anything like that. We were always really healthy eaters. I think when it started was when I was in LA, I can remember having the Sex and the City parties where we'd have our martinis or our cosmopolitans, and we'd be eating ice cream and watching Sex and the City. And I was at that point, I was able to eat it without gaining weight because I was so active running marathons. Today, I think triggers are just kind of what I'm craving. And you know, there are some days where I might want ice cream, but there are other days where I might want a salad, or there might be a day where, you know, I have to have chocolate every day. I'm a woman, I love chocolate, but I'm the type that if it's there, I'm gonna continue to pick at it. It's not something that I can just go have a bite and then walk away. Like, I'm a picker. I think the biggest trigger for me is when I have a bad day, or I'm sensitive. I come across as this confident, you know, bear of a mom, and I'm incredibly sensitive. So if I get my feelings hurt or something happens and it doesn't go the way that I want it, I'll tend to turn towards food as a comfort. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a specific type of food. It could be really anything. I think what I'd like to get from this at the end, obviously, is to be smaller in size. But more importantly for me, I think this journey is going to be about me being able to be 100% true to myself, being able to express myself and not feel bad about it, to achieve a goal that I used to think was unrealistic, because now I have help and a little bit of a kick in the butt that I may need. I think at the end of the tunnel, there's the happiness, you know, just being able to kind of smile and be content and be confident in myself and not fear that, you know, I walk outside and someone's looking at me because I might be a little bit heavier. But my main goal is just being proud of myself and, you know, tackling the purple elephant in the room. I think the reason why I feel bad sometimes, or badly sometimes, about expressing how I feel is judgment from people. Throughout my years, you know, being the youngest of four, the only girl, I kind of was brought up as the only child because my brothers were so much older than me, and I was always a fighter. My parents divorced when I was young. My mom had to start over when I was younger. And I always just felt like if I was to voice my opinion, or if I was to say a dirty joke or to say something funny, that I might be judged as, oh, you know, you shouldn't say something like that, or you shouldn't do something like that. And I feel like I've always had that problem of being completely honest and then kind of having it slap me in the face because I shouldn't have been honest. I think that I look in the mirror sometimes and see a person that's way heavier than I ultimately am. Or other days I think, oh, I'll just start this tomorrow because, you know, today's Sunday. I don't think that I ever looked in the mirror and genuinely accepted what I saw in the mirror and realized that if I don't do something about it now, ultimately I'm just hurting myself personally, you know, mentally, physically, and it just got real. I mean, being able to speak about my weight on camera in front of you all is definitely one step to the big journey. And I think I'm finally very aware of where I am and what needs to be done, and being acceptant of it and proud of myself for doing it. When I was a child, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I had a really hard time comprehension when I was reading. And it definitely affected me, because I can remember in elementary school, I would get pulled out of class and I'd have to walk a mile down the street to the Reading Comprehension Center, where I would have to, you know, learn how to sound out words because I would do everything phonetically. I can remember my mother would bring me into my bedroom and have oranges and apples to do my times tables, because 1 times 1 to me just didn't make any sense. Why wasn't it 2? You know, 1 times 1 is 1. However, it made me a little bit, it made me tough, but it definitely made me, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypersensitive to being different, and feeling stupid, to be honest with you. I never felt smart. I always compared myself to the smart girls, and how I got by was being an athlete. You know, I could go on the soccer field and I could, you know, make a goal, or they called me Redwood because I was the tallest, biggest girl and I played defense, and I, you know, could kick a ball the length of the soccer field. But when it came to my studies or it came to reading, I always felt dumb. I conquered that in college when I majored in creative writing, and then I conquered that when I moved to Los Angeles, where I ended up working in development for Aaron Spelling for series development, and I would read 500 scripts a year. And so I think just those steps helped me become stronger, but also it's still in the back of me, always made me feel a little different. I think the reason why I believe it's my time right now is age. I think experience. I think that, you know, over the course of the last few years, things weren't kind of playing into each other. I really believe that the universe brings things to you when it's your time. You know, the sayings, you'll meet the man you're supposed to marry when you guys happen to be at the right place at the right time. I kind of believe that about just about anything in your life. You know, my business is running well. I'm about to open a second business and that's going really well. My studies are great. I'm about to sit for the boards. Things are just kind of, it's a puzzle, and my puzzle is coming together. And the one missing piece is this, and I think it's my time to kind of find that missing puzzle piece and pop it in there.